Welcome back to another episode of Money Script Monday. Today I will be your host. My name is Gabe and I'm honored to be here today. Today we're going to be talking about something that's dear to my heart, utilizing the College Planning Center for Success. Now, what does that mean? That could mean a lot of different things. Recently I just had an article published and then we talked about a little bit of the regulations and what's happening in college planning today. What was really striking to me when doing my research and a lot of the follow-up calls is that a lot of college planning so-called firms, they don't focus on getting the students into college. They primarily focus on, they skip this and they go right here to college funding. Again, at Life Pro in the college planning department, our number one most important thing we have to do, getting the kids into college. And unfortunately, that's not the case with a lot of college planning firms. So we wanted to take the opportunity to kind of review our process here at Life Pro that kind of makes us different than the status quo at a lot of different college planning firms. Again, the most important thing that you want to do is get the kids into school. Now, you can utilize that by having your own team, or a lot of time they outsource it to a service center. But again, one of the things you want to make sure when you do either option is make sure you have a support team. Make sure you have a team that's going to work with the students to get into school. If the students don't get accepted to a school, there's not going to be ever an opportunity to do college funding. Or, more importantly, you're never going to get referrals. Career path planning. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lot of times you might meet a student. They might want to go to, let's say, Harvard. But they're really, what they want to do, their desire is to be a teacher. Well, they really don't need to go to Harvard to be, $500,000 in debt, where you can go to a top state school or maybe a top private school in the area and save them 90% of the cost. So again, having that planning opportunity with the students and with the family is going to save the family thousands, if not more, in money for registering for a school or going to a school that they probably don't need to. Licensed counselors. Back in the day, I'm talking 30, 40 years ago, the average number, one counselor would service 15 to 20 students. Now that was a lot, but it was very doable, especially if they spread it out and they did weekly updates and talked to the students. They could do it. Now, counselors are just overloaded. They still have the same desire to help kids. They still have the same passion to get them into school, to make their lives and the family lives better, but they're just overloaded. It's not their fault. Now, instead of getting 15 to 20 students, they're at 300 to 400 students for one counselor. So that's almost impossible to get that kind of direct guidance you need from a counselor, especially in a student's sophomore and junior year on going to college. With that being said, you really need to utilize a service center or yourself hire a counselor that will give the students, the families, that one-on-one direction that they really need to help them get into school. So that's all fine and dandy. So from there, we kind of transition over from college planning to college funding. Assuming that these families, after you send over the financials to Life Pro and my team, we can determine within 5 to 10 minutes really of looking everything over if there's a funding opportunity. That's the benefit too, is that our program is designed to save you your time and money. So you're not 20 appointments deep, you're not 30 hours meeting with a family to realize, you know what, they're going to get into school and they're going to get into a top school. But unfortunately, as far as college funding, they just don't have any real investable assets or any kind of moving around of money to make it worthwhile. That's okay. Again, they're going to get into school and that's the most important thing we can do. But if we can save everyone time, money, and stress from the beginning, why not? So again, we're going to look at the review and the financial aid. A lot of times, that's where a lot of college planners only want to focus on. They only want to focus on EFC and shifting financial aid. Now that's important, and we focus on that too, but that's not the number one reason. If you have a family that's making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, it doesn't matter what kind of, they're not going to receive a financial aid. Their EFC score is too high. You can move all the assets around. It doesn't make a difference. But again, that's based on today. You never know what the future is going to happen. So that family might lose an income, COVID, who knows? But you always put them in the opportunity that if something happens, you can write an appeal letter, and then you can then maybe be eligible for financial aid. Strategic financing. Well, what does that really mean? Well, there's a lot more options. A lot of times, college planning firms only want to focus on one option. We believe here that every option is on the book, including 529th, whatever's the best option for the family. Sometimes it's a whole life policy. Sometimes it's IUL. Sometimes maybe keeping their 529s is more beneficial. Sometimes an annuity. Who knows? The most important option is that we're giving them the family's disclosures, so that way whatever they pick is the best option available. And 3-tier system. So we're going to make sure that everything is taken care of from the beginning, middle, and the end, so that when the families do the reviews, they feel comfortable, but more importantly, they understand how that money is either going to pay for college, or maybe supplement for retirement, or maybe it's just a pure college funding option. So there's not going to be any ambiguity. And lastly, putting into practice. This is all fine and dandy, but really, how does someone get involved in it? Well, we have a program here that goes from A to Z in college funding and college planning. We have a support team that does everything. So if you want to take action, we can help you do it. We can conduct events. We can grow your business. We have a proven system from the top college planners in the country that are guaranteed to grow your practice. So if you want to become a $200,000, $300,000 producer by adding college planning, give us a call. We have the systems to help you. So again, what did we review today? Most importantly, we talked about at Life Pro, our number one focus is getting the kids into school. The second, if there's an opportunity, we're going to transition from college planning to college funding, but we're also going to make sure that you're not 20, 30 appointments deep if there's an opportunity to be had. And lastly, we gave you just a little bit of preview of what's to come in the upcoming weeks. So that way, if you really want to add another $200,000, $300,000 into your practice, contact me, contact your FSR, just give Life Pro a call. Thanks again. My name was Gabe Lindeman. I was honored to be here today. Happy selling.